Well, if you all follow my videos, you know the Bel Air turned 200,000 miles this summer. And it's got, oh, I don't know, 600 and some miles on the odometer. 684.8 miles. And, you know, I've been thinking about rebuilding the engine. I'm going to do some work on the car this winter. I'm going to replace, I got all these moldings new in the trunk. I've had them for about 40 years. They're new old stock, so I'm going to change them out. The clock, I think the contacts are worn out that wind it. It works when it winds, but it doesn't, it sounds funny when it winds. I think I'm going to take it out and take a look at it and see if I can fix it. If I can, I might convert it to quartz. And the rocker panel, the molding clips keeps popping off back here, so I'm going to pop that off. I may need to put new clips on it or something, but I'm going to fix a few odds and ends on the Bel Air now. The other video I said I was getting one of those inspection cameras, and we'll take a look in the cylinders of the Bel Air, I think, with it. I did get it today. It's a Teslong. I've seen these used on YouTube on other channels, and I was impressed with what I've seen with them working. This one has a telescoping, you know, it's like an antenna, and you can kind of move this around however you want it. And so, you know, like, I do a lot of home inspections, so I think that, you know, if I want to look into something that I can't get into access, this will work great for that kind of stuff. So let me get it unboxed. We'll get a couple plugs out of the Bel Air and we'll take a look in the cylinders. How's that sound? Yeah, sorry, I don't have a dog that opens hoods for me, so I had to open the hood myself. Nor do I have a canine that knows how to remove spark plugs. These two are super easy to get at, so I'm just going to pull those two and we'll take a look in there. I have no idea what's, you know, if anything's ever been done with this engine. The car was 19 years old when I purchased it. So anyway, let's pull those plugs out and have a gander. So the secret with getting your spark plug wires off without destroying them is twist them first, and that breaks them free from the spark plug porcelain, and then they pull right off. These plug wires are older than the hills too. I can't remember the last time I've tuned this car up. It's probably been at least, it looks like there's a little corrosion on that. Yeah, a little corrosion right there on that plug, as you can see. So anyway, maybe it'd be due for a tune-up, but if I rebuild the engine in the future, we'll do a tune-up then. Till then, it runs good, so I'm going to leave it alone. So let me get those plugs out and we'll have a gander at the plugs and inside the cylinders. I guess maybe I should pull all the plugs and see if the sprout plug was like finger tight. I was able to, barely had to turn on the wrench to get it out, and it's oily from, I think, from being loose, unless the valve guides or the rings. But you know, you can see it's totally burning nice. That's the front plug, the very front one on the right hand cylinder head, and that's plug number 2 on the right hand cylinder head. They're AC44N. Like I say, I don't, honest to God, can't remember. I should put a little dielectric grease on the tabs and make sure. I'm going to do that before I put it back, plugs back in. I'm going to put some dielectric grease on the tips, and I'm going to check all the plugs, because this was obviously loose. You can see where it was, you know, I could have turned it out with just this. I didn't even need the ratchet. So who knows how long that's been like that, because like I say, I can't remember. I bet it's been 20 years anyway since I've put plugs in this thing or done anything like that. But anyway, let me get the camera out here and I'll show you a little bit about it, and we'll take a look in the cylinders and see how they look. So you get the camera head, the charge cable, which, you know, just uses a 5-volt USB, like a phone charger or whatever. It has a couple little things that go on the end here, so you can get in different things and do different, different stuff. And it has this plug, or this little thing here that screws in the back of the camera right there, so it can set like so. And it has a memory card in it. Underneath this is where the charge USB and memory cards, so you can video or still picture whatever you're doing. I'm going to leave the film on the lens for now, but yeah, I don't know how much charge it is. Hopefully it's enough to get going, but I'm gonna, here, if you want to read the manual, just pause it. I think it's important. It's always interesting to know. I like to know it. Sometimes I Google manuals before I buy stuff online, just so you can kind of get the gist of the camera. There isn't a lot of stuff here to record. This is kind of the specifications right here, and I think that's it. Yep. So there we go. To get the camera cable in, you just push it in until it snaps. See how it's snapped in? And it's not going anywhere. If you want to release it, you push this and then pull it out, and that releases the cable. Pretty slick little unit here. Like I say, I've seen these on other YouTube channels and I've been impressed with them, so when I had the opportunity to get one, yeah, I took full advantage of it. So let me get this undone here, and I'll show you how this extends out, and I'll give you some other views with it too. But let's have a look in the cylinders on the Bel Air. You can see it goes out quite a distance. So, all right, I shoved it down in the hole that the spark plug was loose in, and like I say, I'll record some of this so you can kind of see, but it looks like it has standard pistons. I don't see anything that shows 10 ohm. All right, we're recording now. You see if I can get the valves back in there. Probably have to put the mirror on it. At one of those little things to get the valves. Let me change the angle of this thing and shove it in the front cylinder. If I can get dirt on it, crud on it. Definitely a difference in the appearance of the pistons, isn't there? It almost looks, I can't tell, but it almost looks like a little bit of the piston is eroded away. Let me see if I can get it. You can kind of see where I'm talking about, I think. It's like working with I guess it's not, it's just carbon on the piston. Yeah, that just looks like a lump of carbon right there. Alright, so that's all good. Yeah, but you can definitely tell it's not a new engine. See some of that stuff on the piston reflecting on the cylinder. I want to see if you have a valve or two on this. Whoops, sorry. Didn't mean to jam you right down into the piston. You can see part of the combustion chamber right there. That's part of the cylinder wall. The combustion chamber in this engine is in the cylinder block. The heads are milled completely flat. Put it in the next one back again. That might have been where the dome was on the piston too in this one. Yeah, that's exactly where that mark is where that dome is on the piston, and then there's carbon on it. So there's really nothing wrong with the piston there. Think I ought to pull a couple more plugs. Let's pull a couple more and take a look at them. Okay, we're going to have a gander and a couple more cylinders. This is the third cylinder back on the right hand bank, and all these plugs were loose, but this one was the tightest one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 from the front to the rear of the engine on the right hand cylinder head. So this is the rear spark plug. So yeah, I'm going to have to tighten them up a little bit better. They don't need replacing. They're not really. You see the. Let's see if I can get the gap. You know, the electrode, none of that's really worn. So hopefully it's in focus. Anyway, let's take a look in the other two cylinders there. I think we're recording. This is the third cylinder back. I think that piston's up near the top. You can see the carbon on the side of the block there where the combustion chamber is. It's just down a tad from the top of the bore, this piston. And it actually looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm almost touching the piston, so let's take a look at this cylinder here. This one had some oil around the spark plug. It was that loose. This one's up near the top too, I guess. See where you can see the carbon where the piston travel ends. You can see where the rings end and where the top of the piston comes to, and then the carbon on the block from there on. So that piston's almost to the top. But all in all, I think it looks pretty good, all things considered. You know, we got a high mileage engine here. And let me clean the. Let's shove this thing down the oil cap here. What we got down in here. Oh, there's the timing chain. Let's turn it the other way, see if we can see the camshaft or anything. Might have to turn the camera a little bit. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get it down to where the camshaft is, but sorry about getting all in the goop there. Alright, let me maybe pull the other plugs out. What do you say? These ones are a little harder to get at because the generator is kind of right there, and then the power brakes. But yeah, I'm kind of curious. I'm going to pull them all out and have a gander at them. What do you say? These are the spark plugs from the left-hand bank or driver's side. This is the very front one. That one was a little loose. You know, it was snug, but wasn't exactly tight. This one, the second cylinder back on the driver's side, I could have turned this one out with my fingers. I didn't need the ratchet on it. I don't know why these plugs are loose. Maybe last time I put them in, I forgot to tighten them up. Like I say, it's been 20 years though since I've put plugs in it. I'll look in the maintenance record on the car and see how long these plugs have been in the car. They all look really good. They're all burning nice. Can't complain about the way they look, considering this one was finger tight, and one of these, I forget which one now, but yeah, that's the right head, that's the left head. And let's shove the camera in there and have a gander. Well, let's take a look in. Looks like I need to clean up around those spark plug holes before I put the plugs back in too. That piston looks like it's near the top. You can see some oil around the edge of the piston. Yeah, that piston's almost due top. But it looks good in there, what I can see. Next cylinder. This one's way down. You can see the dot on the piston. Some of them, they're more carbon than other ones. You can see the cylinder walls. Yeah, I have to get my trouble light and get in there and clean those spark plug holes. Yeah, that piston's almost to the top too. Let me straighten the camera thing out a little bit, and maybe we can have a little better view in there, because this is brake booster and all kinds of things. I can't move the camera around a lot, but yeah, you can see the combustion chamber there. That part where the carbon is. You can see where the ring stops and the piston stops there too. This is the third cylinder back on the left side. Again, the combustion chamber is in the block. That's what you're looking at. This is the very last cylinder. That piston looks all the way down in the bore. A little dirt from pulling the plug got on the cylinder. That's not good. Might blow that out with some compressed air if I can. But all in all, looks pretty good. I don't see any oversized stampings on the pistons, so I'd say it's standard bore. Usually they stamp right in the piston what the oversize is. But, you know, as I say, you know, this engine has over 200,000 miles, so it's not going to look like brand new on the inside anymore. Let's see what else we can gander at. I just do want to do a little comparison here. You know, like I say, I've seen these Teslong, these things in other tubers' videos, and I've been impressed with them. And I'll show you why I've been impressed. I got this Harbor Freight one years ago, and that's in the cylinder, just almost to the piston. You can see the top of the piston there. Look at how dark that is compared to that Teslong. This does not have the light or the quality. Look at that. Even just holding the thing out, it doesn't near have the quality that that other one has. It just needs brighter light or something. It just isn't there. But anyway, I just wanted to compare so you can see they're actually really good cameras. Very happy to get it. All right, I got the maintenance log out, and it looks like 9/9 of 2010 at 81,083 miles. I put new cap rotor plug wires, but it doesn't say if I put plugs in it, so I'm going to look a little further. I probably didn't, because it doesn't say plugs. So let me see if I can find the one with the spark plugs. This thing's in pretty rough shape, so I can't turn the pages in video. I don't want it to fall apart on me. All right, I found the spark plugs were put in on 11/25 of 08 at, well, that would be 179,000. It says 79,208. It says oil change, lube, filter, spark plugs, tune up, adjust brakes. So tune up would be the spark plugs, and probably, well, no, I would have put fuel filter. There I repaired an oil leak on the oil filter adapter. A fuel pump and air filter. Carb overhaul was last done in 08. So there we go. The plugs have been in here since '08 at 79,000 or 179,000. So, you know, it's got some miles on those spark plugs. Got all the plugs back in, wires hooked back up. This time I made sure the plugs were tight. And I pulled them out of that 283 over here. Pulled two out. And we'll take a look, see if we can see what the pistons on this engine say. These are the spark plugs, are 45S or 45S. So let's take a look in there. All right, let's have a look in these cylinders, see what we got here. That one's the front one on the what would be the right hand side of the engine. You can see the valves. This engine hasn't been started. I've had this engine for I don't even know how long. You can see it does have a 40. It has an oversized piston in it. You can see. Let's see if we can see better on. Yeah, there you go. 40 over. A little scoring on the cylinder wall. So obviously this engine was not rebuilt recently. It has been run at one time. This is the way I got it. I got this engine on a horse trade. So yeah, it looks like in the backyard, or you know, but it looks like it's in good shape, other than, you know, you can see the scoring on the valves. Look nice. Valve seats look good. I'd say this is a good engine, be a good usable engine. But it's obviously never been run remanufactured. It's been run in the past and somebody's had it apart and cleaned it up, put it back together. So if I ever go to use it, I'll drop the sump and check it all out. We'll put the plugs in and see what else we can do with this. Let's take a look in the power steering pump. There you can see the filter. I don't want to get the camera tip in the fluid. See the back of the pump part there, but that is the filter for the pump. I only fill it to that level because it has a dipstick, but the problem is if I put it to even add oil, even warm, it gushes out around the cap there, so I just let it set its own level and just keep it at that level. Make sure it's always at that level. Cold, it's a little higher. It's usually up in the neck a little bit when it's warm. But anyway, oh look, we can see the armature and the generator. The front bearing thing. Some debris right there. Anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd just play with it a little bit, see what else we can video for you guys with it. I got an old manual gearbox here. Let's pull that plug out and have a look and see what the inside of the gearbox looks like. There's no gear oil in there. I've drained it out. This has a bad 2.3 synchro clutch in it, and I was going to replace it. I got a gasket and seal set for it, and I actually have the clutch, synchro clutch too. So one of these days I'll make a video of rebuilding the gearbox. This is the synchro clutch. So if any of you guys have a Muncie 318 that's hard to get into second or third, that's the synchro clutch. That's the part that's bad. These, if you find them, they're not cheap, these synchro clutches. That's the part number. But yeah, if you find one of these, you're going to pay $500 to $800 for one. I bought this one, bought 3 of them at a flea market. The guy didn't know what they were, and I think I gave him 20 bucks a piece for them or something like that. I don't remember, but anyway, let's pull that plug and have a look in the gearbox with this. Okay, we're inside the gearbox. I think this is the low low reverse. That's, you can see some of the other gears back in there, but there's the other end of this gear. So this is first and reverse. There's the synchro clutch. That's the part that's bad. You can see it's meshed in there with the counter gears. Try and get you up in the, you can see the counter gear just down a little bit there in the front where the input shaft comes in from the engine. Let's see if I can get, maybe I pull a drain plug and we can see in the bottom of it, but you can clearly see the synchro clutch. Let me pull a drain plug and we'll have a look there too. There's a baffle in there, so you're not going to see really anything from this vantage. Yeah, and I can't even get around the baffle. That baffle's really close to the bottom, so okay. So when you're doing these, you need to use a, see how this fits in a square socket there? See how the shape of that socket? So that way you don't strip your plugs off. Alright, let's just peek around a little bit more from the fill plug. There's part of the counter gear there. You can see that baffle down in there. Oh, those are the shift forks right there. See that? That's what shifts the speed clutch back and forth. And that one there shifts, that one rides in that groove and moves that slide, and that one moves in that one and moves that one. And then that apparatus in the center there is what prevents both of them from being in gear at the same time, which would just jam up the transmission. So there you can see a little bit of the inside of the gearbox without taking it apart. This gearbox would no longer go into, I'm trying to point it down more, but I guess I can't. Hitting the speed clutch there. Let me see if I can change the gears. I'm not sure which gear this thing's in right now. I gotta tilt it a little bit so I can, let's see. I'm not sure which, there. That's probably, that might be reverse or first, I'm not really sure. That's either, that's the reverse first there. That's neutral. And then you can see the speed clutch, maybe. See how it moves in there when you shift it? That's your second, third gear. Third is direct drive, it just locks the shaft all the way through. So let me, let's see here, which, that's reverse, right there. And that's first. That being low, that is probably, let's see here. Sorry I'm jiggling you all around. It's hard to shift this thing and get the camera in a place to where, there we go. Well, I'm trying to, that would be second. No, that would be direct drive. That would be second. Because we're running through the counter shaft on second, then we're just locking it direct drive all the way through there. So you can kind of see that component there that's worn out moving right now. It's the these brass rings in that component that wear out. Yeah, I didn't realize I had this thing sitting there in reverse. Alright, so you can kind of see the innards of a Muncie 318 3-speed manual gearbox. Yeah, eventually I'll do a video on rebuilding that. I got a new tail shaft bushing. Like I say, all the gasket seals in that speed clutch. Yeah, this thing, you can see light on the end there. There we go. Anyway, yeah, it gets my approval for sure. I like this. This is nice because I could stand out here and go into my, I put the plugs back in, but I could go out. I didn't have to, you know, if you're in a tight area, you can get this in without having to climb down in there. And like I say, for home inspections, going up above things and whatnot. Super nice. I give this definitely 5 stars. I love it. Far superior than the other one that I have by leaps and bounds. There isn't even a comparison to how much better this one is. So anyway, you got to see the inside of the 348 cylinders. You got to see inside of the 283, couple of cylinders, and you got to see the inside of a Muncie 318 3-speed gearbox there. If there's something else that you feel like you have to, oh, and the inside of a generator, direct current Delco-Remy generator. So if there's anything out, and the inside of the power steering pump, well, a filter anyway. So if there's other things in the timing chain, so if there's other things you want to see, you know, let me know. Maybe we can, I'm sure I'm going to be playing with this thing quite a bit, especially if I buy another car, you know, and it has a stuck engine. I've bought 2 with stuck engines. So it's always good to be able to look at the bores when they're stuck to see what kind of condition there is. But yeah, that thing is, I definitely like that. Just once you use it, if you buy one and use it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'll leave a link in the description for this unit too. So here's another use. I do home inspections, and so there was a roof leak here, and I can get up in here and see if there is any mold or anything that happened. You can see kind of what I mean by, I got stuff on the camera lens, I'll have to wipe it off, but you can kind of see, and then, you know, I can get up in here, I got spider webs and stuff, but I'm just seeing insulation there, but I'm not seeing any mold. Yeah, that's just the paper there. But anyway, yeah, so now you can kind of see some of the things I do. Let me wipe my lens off. So a little tip on screws, and you can screw a magnet on. This end here is magnetic. So if you need to get some out of somewhere and you want to fish something through, you can screw this little hook on. And you can see to get things, you know, if it's in like a tight place you can't reach or see. That would have been nice to have when I remember I dropped that fastener or whatever it was down in the quarter of the galaxy, and I spent about 3 hours fishing it out. This would have been nice at that time to have this. That's no doubt about that. And then that screws on all the way, and if it's unscrewed a little bit, you get a little cast a little shadow of light around there, so you got to make sure that's screwed on all the way. But there we go. Yeah, I'm really tickled with this thing. Super happy. Well, that is it. That is the Teslong inspection camera, and out of a 5-star rating, I give it 10 stars. It's definitely awesome. It was so nice to be able to look at the combustion chambers and pistons and whatnot in the Bel Air. And it was good to pull the plugs because a couple of them were like finger tight. But anyway, that is it. Again, if you want to buy one of those, the link will be in the description. They're super awesome. I highly recommend it. 1,000 times better than the one I got from Harbor Freight. And definitely one of the better ones I've used over the years. I've used several other ones over the years, and this one hands down is one of the best. So there you go. That's showing how it works and having a little bit of fun with it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, if you did, hit the like button. If you like my channel, I have 348 engine icon that pops up there will subscribe you. And thank you for watching my video.